Hey, what's going on, comic fans? Mr. Q Comics. Another comic call here. This is from a few weeks back. I took a business trip down to Florida, and beforehand, I hit an antique store the day before I left, and then I hit up a few shops while I was down in Florida in the Tampa area. So I'm just going to go over that stack of books. First thing I hit was a local antique shop. They were having an annual type of sale. There's one vendor in particular I usually shop from there. This right here, Uncanny X-Men 248. This is the second print, the gold cover. This is the first Jim Lee on X-Men. This was from a different vendor. It was a couple bucks. Probably very fine shape. Not the best of shape, but I do like Jim Lee a lot, and I kind of dig these second print gold covers out of these kind of late 80s, 90s books that you see on a Marvel. So that was the first book I grabbed, just from a different vendor in the antique store. It's one of those consignment antique shops, which I absolutely love. So the rest of the stack is from a vendor I hit up a lot. Always has reasonable prices, and he was running a 30% off sale that weekend. So some Bronze Age Iron Man, 38 and 41. Nothing of significance here, just early Bronze Age stuff. They were only a few bucks a piece. Worked out to a few bucks a piece, whatever it was. $2 and change, $3 and change. Grabbed a copy of Captain Marvel number 50. This is beat up, but I think this is like $2. It's the first appearance of Dr. Minerva. This was pretty cool. Anything with Spidey, I usually pick up. Spidey's my favorite character, as I've mentioned before. Marvel Team Up number 86. This one, probably mid-grade. It was about $3.50, something like that, after the sale. It's the first meeting of the Guardians of the Galaxy and Spidey. That one will go in my personal collection for sure. Some Daredevil stuff. Copy of Daredevil 138. This one's fairly beat up, probably very good range. It's the first appearance of Smasher. This one was only a couple bucks. Pretty cool cover. Looks like Ghost Rider in the background there. This one I love. This is a classic Frank Miller cover. It was high grade. I have this. This is a really sharp copy, which is the reason I grabbed it. I think it worked out to like $7, but I think this is probably a very fine near mint. Could stand a cleaning and a press, but this is probably one of my favorite Frank Miller covers. Fantastic. Love the yellow background. I forget the other issue. There's one with Elektra with her sigh as well, which is really cool. The Daredevil book I really love, though. 115. Really good shape. Probably very fine condition. This worked out to a little over $5. The thing I like about this book, it's got a Hulk 181 ad in it. So I don't have a Hulk 181, so I'm settling for the ad that predates it at this point. So that was pretty cool for me. All right, we got some Green Lantern number 100. This is only a couple bucks, probably fine range. Actually, this is the nicest book I picked up while I was there. Giant size Thor. Really good shape, awesome cover. This is high grade, very fine, maybe very fine near mint if it gets cleaned up and pressed. This was the most expensive book of the lot. This was over $10, probably like $12, $13. Gorgeous cover. Love the giant size stuff. I've been grabbing them as I find them recently, and especially in high grade. When you find high grade affordable, you can't beat it. So that's it for the local antique shop. So I went down to the Tampa area in Florida. My company has an office in that area. So I reached out to someone on Instagram. I believe it was David Beats Goliath, because I knew he was in Florida, and he recommended Emerald City Comics. So that's the first place I hit the day I landed. Huge store. Was blown away with how much stuff they have. They had a ton of key books on the wall. They even have like 3-ring binders with photos of really high-end stuff they have that you can't, that's not out and about. But there was so much stuff, it was overwhelming to try and dig through. They had regular long boxes in the middle of the floor. I found them to be a little tough to dig through because they were packed so tight. And though the shop was great, one minor complaint, they don't mark their books. They don't price them in advance. So you got to price everything after you pull it, which kind of a pet peeve of mine. I don't like to kind of dig through not knowing what I'm getting. If you spend all that time and then you get up there and they price it right top of the guide, it's kind of aggravating. So I didn't dig too much in the back issue bins, not knowing anything about the store, and I didn't want to haggle prices being a first-time customer. So first thing I grabbed out of the regular long boxes, Batman 457, which I'm sure I've shown before. First Tim Drake as Robin. This wasn't cheap. It was like $9, which I thought was pretty expensive for this book, but it's in pristine shape. So I forked over the cash for a high grade copy. So, and I wasn't sure what else I was going to find. So if you go into the back of the store, that's where they get the wall books, and they've got a roped off area. You got to ask for permission to get in there so they can keep an eye on you. So I did some digging there. I looked at some wall books. Some of the affordable stuff was really beat up, and I wasn't going to spend a huge amount of money and carry super expensive stuff back on a plane with me. So anyways, I found a couple books I'd really been wanting for a while. This is Batman 221. Awesome Neal Adams cover. This was real. I thought this was affordable. I think it was like $30, and it's probably fine, very fine, and that was a good price for me. I've been trying to get it on eBay and can't ever seem to get a really higher grade copy. I've been wanting these Neal Adams books in much better shape, like very fine near mint, but obviously you're paying big cash for them. So this is a gorgeous cover. Love this one. So yeah, found that. I was psyched about that. The other one I found was Detective 412. This one I remember seeing ETA Nick talk about and just break down this cover, and it is awesome. Just look at the horse on it. Beautiful. And I love the color on it as well. Same thing, I've been looking on eBay for this, and it's always like $40-50 for a higher grade copy. This is not a higher grade copy. This is probably, very fine range. Sorry, very good range. It's got a chip off the corner, but it was relatively cheap. I think it was like $15, something like that. So psyched to get both of those. That was really cool. Best thing at the store for me, adjust the camera a minute, hold on. Spider-Man 43. Amazing Spider-Man number 43. This is the first full appearance of Mary Jane. This is a nice copy. This is mid-grade, probably fine range. And it was a pretty affordable price. So I was psyched for that. That was Spidey's my number one title. Love the, Mary Jane appearances, Gwen Stacy appearances. So I think I had all the other Mary Jane stuff, all the cameos, she's got like multiple cameos. But yeah, psyched to find that. So, all right. There was one shop in between, and I'm going to cover the books I hit on the last day. This ended up being on my way back to the airport, right in Tampa. Green Shift Music. Show that card there. Vintage record store that also carries comics. So I hit that place up quick. I was going to try and get to the Coliseum of Comics. It just didn't work out with timing, with business meetings, etc. So take what you can get, I guess. So this was an interesting store because he had a bunch of Silver Age behind the counter. So you kind of had to ask to go through it. And he did have some good stuff. I had asked, hey, you happen to have any EC comics? And he had just sold what he had literally the day before. So that was a kick in the teeth. And I think he had like some Tales from the Crypt and stuff. So I was kind of, miss it by one day because I definitely would have snatched that up. But anyways, these are still cool books nonetheless. So Batman 180. I think I paid this guy like $80 for the 3 books I got here. It's probably a very good range. Got an earlier Detective 307. This is a little bit better shape. I think it's probably very good, fine maybe. So I think it was like $20 for this and $16 for the other. And then I've been looking for, I've mentioned in pretty much every video, Spidey and McFarlane, of course. So looking for an upgrade on my copy of this, and he had a really sharp copy of Amazing Spider-Man 298. I think I always get mixed up with these appearances. So I think 298 is the first Eddie Brock, and 299 is the first cameo of Venom, even though he's like full spread on the last page, but we won't get into that debate. So pretty good copy. I think it was like $44, something like that. So it's a little bit more than I really wanted to pay, but my copy I have is all tanned around the edges. It's got like a tear down here, and I just want a better copy, and I haven't been coming across them. All my local shops that have them, they're always $90 to $100, which seems like really high to me. I think they're much more affordable on eBay that I see. So it's a decent copy. It looks great on the front, and then it's the black back cover, so it's got multiple ticks on the back. And foolish me, I didn't take it out and look, which I was gonna buy it anyways, just because it was there. I wanted it, so psyched to have it. Better copy. So Can't complain. So the story hidden between, really cool. This was in Bradenton. I spent the night in Bradenton, my final night there. This is a really cool place. It was called Titan Comics, and they also have it's a tattoo shop as well. So Classic Ink and Titan Comics, really neat. I hit it up at nighttime right before I went to dinner. So it was interesting. They had a lot of awesome original artwork in there on display, which I guess is the tattoo artist. And man, his prints were sick. Awesome. So he had some cool books in there. And he was totally worked with me on the price. I really wasn't expecting it. You know, I try not to haggle too much when I go into a store for the first visit. But he, you know, offered it like, hey, you know, I'll work with you on price if you're buying multiple things. So like, oh, okay. Sweet. So this book I've wanted for a long time just because it's another title with the Spidey. I love the Spider-Man light, like the bat signal ripoff. It's awesome. I see it a lot, but it's always like in the $50 range for a decent copy. And I guess I never want to pay that because I came across it once at a shop for like $20 in pretty solid shape and passed on it. And I've never wanted to pay more than that. Stupid, I know, but just one of those little quirky things. So yeah, Daredevil 17 with the kind of Spider-Man team up. It's in decent shape, but this book, it's always kind of got this tanning look, and this one definitely is a little on the brittle side, and you can't see it, and I didn't see it till I got back to my hotel and took it out. There's like a razor slice right through Daredevil there. You cannot see it in the bag until you take it out. So anyways, I got a copy. It worked out when I bundled this all up, it all worked out pretty good. So I also got a Green Lantern 84 Neal Adams cover. I don't think there's any significance to this, but it was in pretty good shape. Probably fine, very fine. And the two biggest books, yeah, we're really psyched to get this. This he had, I can't remember what he had these all marked at initially. I just remember what I paid for the whole lot. Let me read that. Green Lantern 87, awesome cover. First appearance of John Stewart, second Guy Gardner. This one was cheap. I just remember looking at it going, man, this is the best buy he had on the wall. And I mean, I think he had this thing priced at like $60, $65. Now, it's got a wicked spine roll. It's tough to see since I put it in thick Mylar here. But I don't know. I think that could be pressed out. Otherwise, I think it's a pretty solid mid-grade book with the exception of the spine roll. It's probably easier to see it that way from the top. Probably not in the camera. Yeah, bad spine roll, but to me, this book, I see it going for crazy money. So I wasn't going to pass that up. And like I said, he had offered a bundle. And when I brought the Daredevil book, first was just the Daredevil and this, I think. And I can't remember what he offered me, but I basically bundled this in along with Luke Cage #1, which I've been wanting for a while. I think he had the Luke Cage at like $200. I ended up walking out of there with all of those books for $200. Now the Luke Cage is pretty beat up. I don't know. I thought that was a pretty good price for everything. So I was pretty happy with it. I think the Luke Cage is in the very good range. So I wasn't gonna pass it up. I mean, I see these Green Lantern 87 books going for near $200. Probably better shape, but still. I thought that was a steal. I was psyched for it when he came down in that price. I was pretty happy. So that's it. I was pretty psyched about these books. These two in particular, obviously. Super cool. Really, the Luke Cage, because I've been wanting that for a while. And I'm not a huge, just getting back into DC, but still two big keys. I wasn't expecting to find that stuff. So a little bit of stress carrying these, having a fly carrying these things. But I always bring one of those hard black cases there, the portfolios. So that's the best way to do it. And then I always carry a laptop bag on me. So yeah, that's it, guys. It was a good trip. Definitely psyched to hit those shops up. Cool to see shops in new areas. So hope you guys enjoy it. If you do, please like, subscribe, hit notifications, leave some comments below on what you think. So as always, guys, happy hunting and hope to talk to you soon.